sometimes struggle with fatigue, burnout, stress, wondering what to do about these things? In today's episode, we'll be exploring the question of how do we become the best version of ourselves and deal with things like stress, fatigue, burnout, and more. My guest today, her name is Linda Callahan, has created a 7-step program that is designed to do just that, help anyone become a better version of who they are. Linda is a retired school teacher of nearly 30 years, and once she hit retirement was looking for a wellness-based approach to continue with her self-growth and self-improvement. What started as a morning routine with the goal in mind of self-improvement and becoming a better version of herself quickly blossomed into her 7-step program, I'm Great. I'm Great is an acronym that Linda uses, and it stands for intention, meditation, gratitude, reading, exercise, affirmations, and time for self-care. We'll talk about each one of these elements of her I'm Great wellness routine on the episode today. As Linda will tell you, implementation of the 7 steps has led to a greater sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment for her. Be sure and take a listen to all of today's episode, as it is sure to do the same for you, thus helping you to better navigate and deal with all of life's ins and outs. After all, who doesn't want a greater sense of peace and fulfillment for their life? Linda is a wife, mother, and grandmother, and currently resides in South Carolina with her husband, where she enjoys reading, writing, strolling along the beach, and partaking of her favorite nonprofit, South Carolina United Turtle Enthusiasts, an organization dedicated to the protection of nesting sea turtles. Linda, good morning and welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited. We were chatting a little bit off camera here, and I came across you in one of the Facebook groups on personal development, and you have written a book. I know you talked, it's kind of a book and combination journal that just really caught my attention. And it's all about this idea of just being health and wellness and all of this. And I saw this and I'm like, oh, I've got to get Linda on my podcast, because this is exactly what I want this podcast to be about, educating people, informing them, and bringing them opportunities to better their life and better their health in as many different ways as possible. And so you've written a book, and I'm not going to say the title. I'm going to let you say the title here in just a second, but tell us what is this book and how did it come about, and what's it all about? Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really excited about being here.
Oh, thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm excited to have you.
Great. But Brad, life is full of changes, and a lot of times these changes come by at us unexpectedly, and there isn't anything we can do to change those changes. The only thing we can maybe have any control over is how we handle that. And for me, I was forced to deal with a lot of changes all at once. My dad had become ill, my sister had become ill, and my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma. So at that time, I was teaching 2 different grades, 5th grade and 6th grade, reading, math, and language, and I was maybe 3 hours away from my family. So I decided to quit my job because I didn't know where life was going to take me and where I was needed. And I just had so much on my plate to deal with. And I knew that the best way for me to help them was I needed to get a good balance in my life. And in order to do that, I, over a course of many, many months, decided to start practicing some personal development techniques that would help me grow stronger. So I started off with adding intention to my day every day. I'd wake up and I'd say, all right, today I'm just going to focus on being grateful. Today I'm going to focus on having a positive attitude. And every day I focused on just one intention. And then from there, I started over time adding, meditation into that routine. And then I started adding journaling into that. And I started to see a big change in myself. I think one of the biggest things was adding the affirmations to my life, because we really do become what we believe ourselves to be. So if you practice positive affirmations, you're going to carry that positive attitude throughout your day. So over the course of several months, I realized this routine was really, really working for me. And I decided to put it into book form. And when it came time to title the book, I really wasn't sure what to title it, but I knew I wanted to somehow include every part of my routine into the title. So as a teacher, writing teacher I was, I listed down all the activities I was doing. So that was intention, meditation, gratitude, reading, exercise, affirmation, and time for self-care. And when I looked at that, I thought, oh my gosh, that spells I'm great. And if I do this every single day, I'm going to feel so much better about myself, and I'm going to create a better version of myself in mind, body, and spirit. So that's how the name came about. But as the practice has made a huge difference in my life. Um, I find that I'm definitely more grateful now. I'm able to handle situations better. I mean, things still happen every day, but I just have a better grip on it, and I feel like I'm able to take that pause, take that breath before I react to whatever is going on in my life. And sometimes it's just that little pause, that little break that makes such a big difference. So that's how it came about. And now I do have therapists across the country using this book, because when I designed the book, I wanted to explain why it was important to practice each of those routines. So the first half of the book is just that. And then the second half of the book, you actually use everything that you've learned from part one to take yourself on a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. And you'll start off by writing a goal for the month. You'll practice all those routines, and then you reevaluate at the end of the month and see how you're doing. But what I love most about the book is my routine is what worked for me. You're going to take the book and you're going to make the routine work for you. So you're going to do whatever works best for you. My routine is just a guideline for you. But I think when you get into that morning routine every day, you just develop a better attitude. You appreciate life more. And isn't that what life should be about?
I think so. Absolutely. I can see the spirit in you and the smile on your face. Would you say like your life before the book compared to your life now, like you're more at peace, you're more relaxed, you've kind of found that inner joy from doing these exercises then?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like now I know when things are getting a little crazy and getting a little hectic, I have to say, all right, Lynn, just need to take a little break, take a breather, go meditate. In fact, I even have a whole room now in my house that's dedicated to meditation. So that is my safe haven. So I absolutely love it.
Okay. Let's take our listeners through this I'm great process a little bit. I know that the title of the book is I'm Great, and I did read your story in your bio. I love that how you were kind of looking at it, and that acronym just kind of came out to you. So let's start with the I. So intention. What exactly do you mean by intention? Because this is such a key component that I think a lot of people don't understand, that is, again, key to, I guess, bettering your life, for lack of a better word. What is intention? What do you mean by that?
Well, intention is actually different, in my opinion, from setting a goal. For me,
Okay.
if I were to say I'm setting a goal for the day, that might mean cleaning out my bedroom closet. My intention is going to be the attribute that I want to focus on for the day. So intentional living is really putting that conscious thought into everything you say and everything you do, and every action you take should be fulfilling that intention that you set for the day. Whether it's I'm going to be more attentive to my family. I'm going to be a better listener today. Today I'm going to focus on, not complaining. So that's what I do when I first wake up. Before I even get out of bed, I set my intention for the day. And I always find that writing everything down kind of cements it. And actually, that's another reason of how the book came about, because once I started my routine, I had a journal for everything. Every single aspect of that routine had its own journal. And even though the routine itself was working for me, all those notebooks were not working for me. So
Oh,
I went on Amazon and I tried to find a journal that would fit my needs, but I didn't find one. So I thought, hey, you were a writing teacher for many years. Write your book. So
yeah.
that's what I set out to do. And it has made such a difference, because when you write something down, it just stays with you. And I think you're more focused to see it through. So that's the whole point of writing everything down every day.
So your practice of this I'm great every day actually starts when you're just waking up in the morning and still in bed, and you're setting this intention. And so this
Mm-hmm.
idea of intentional living, I want to make sure I understand it so our listeners understand it. It's not so much what you're going to do for the day, but more how you're going to behave and act. Like,
Yes.
I intend to listen more today, or I intend to, be in a good mood all day today, something like that, for example.
Right.
Oh,
And every thought and every action should be focused on that. Maybe I'm going to be more mindful today and, just focus more on the simple pleasures instead of multitasking. And when you find yourself starting to drift away from that intention, then just that thought alone, that you recognize that you're drifting away, brings you back to that intention for the day.
okay.
So then after I do my intention, then I do inspirational reading. And all of this is before I even get out of bed. I have a couple authors that I like to read. I will do my inspirational reading from them, and then I do my meditation. So my meditation, a lot of times I will focus on that intention and on those morning reads. And then part of my meditation also is my gratitude. And then it's a morning walk. Morning walk through the neighborhood. I'm very lucky to live by the beach.
Wow.
And a lot of times my walks will be on the beach. I'm actually part of a South Carolina turtle team,
Oh,
which
I read
means,
that. Yeah.
yes, we get up
I'm
at,
big into turtle conservation. Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it is wonderful. So Thursday mornings is my day to be on the beach at like 5:45. So we do our stretch. And it's such a wonderful way to kind of keep that balance in your life, because you're starting your day off on a positive note with that intention. Your meditation is helping you feel grounded in that intention, and you're expressing your gratitude for all you have, all those simple little things, that first cup of tea that you have in that morning. Um, the dog, waking up to your dog. My husband is always right there. I mean, it's just, you're cultivating an attitude of gratitude. And when you do that, you start realizing how much there really is to be grateful for. Even on a bad day, there are things to be grateful for. So then I also work on affirmations, and that has been life changing for me. We tend to grow up into what we think we should be. If we grow up hearing negative positivity, negative comments in our life all the time, we're going to grow into that person. If someone tells you you are lazy or whatever, that becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you start to see yourself in a positive light, you start working towards that positive energy. So that was a big thing for me as well. And I try to find every day to do something that is time for self-care for me. So we've got the intention, the meditation, the gratitude reading, exercise, affirmation, and time for self-care. And I think our journey in life should be about creating the best version of yourself.
Mm.
So every day, all you should really focus on is trying to create a better version of who you were the day before. That's my goal in life.
So you've literally done all of this, but I don't know what time you wake up, but by 7:30, whenever. And after you do your intention, do some inspirational reading, you said you do your meditation, but in your meditation, you're actually combining your gratitude practice and your affirmation practice as well. So you're kind of killing two or three uh, birds, for lack of a better metaphor, with one stone there. How long from start to finish then does this morning routine take you for time wise?
Well, that varies. And the thing I'd like to stress is that your routine has to work for you. I mean, I'm retired now, so I have all the time in the world to make my routine last as little or as long as I need it to be. And each day is going to be different. And you can always break that routine up, and if there are certain things that you don't feel you need, your routine has to work for you. So I just feel like waking up in the morning, intention, meditation, gratitude is a given. I'll wake up then, have my first cup of tea. Depending on the weather, I get my walk done early because it gets very hot in South Carolina. You don't want to walk in the middle of the day.
I've heard about the humidity there. Yeah, I used to live in
Yes, it
Florida
is
for a while,
brutal at times.
so I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, but the rest is at your leisure. I mean, you have to make your routine work for you. The affirmations, there's so many ways to do that. I mean, write them down, repeat them daily, write them on your refrigerator and say them every time you go past it. There's just so many ways to do all that. And I explain all of that in the book too, that there are so many different ways that you can incorporate this into your routine. It doesn't have to be from start to finish. And it can be as long or as little as you need it to be. That's the beauty of it.
Let me ask about affirmation real quick. Can you just explain what an affirmation is and what's an example of an affirmation that you use? And then for me, as a coach, I know affirmations, I use them all the time, but in my early stages, I know I would have a hard time like, I'm looking beautiful today, or I'm a lean, mean health and fitness machine, something like that I would used to say, but I wouldn't believe it. How do you get to the point where you actually believe your affirmation?
Well, there's several things that I do, Brad. When I do my meditation, I have affirmation cards that I work with. So I usually will pull one card from the top of the pile, one from the middle of the pile, and one from the bottom of the pile. And those will be the 3 affirmations that I focus on for my meditation period.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us real quick what would be on one of the cards there?
One would say, I am bold, I am open, I am aware, I am creative. Okay. But I also play this little head game with myself when I'm taking my walk. It's called the I am game. Okay. And I will start, I am, because your affirmations always have to be in the present. Present situation, not the past and not the future. It has to be happening right now. So as I'm walking, I call it my I am ABC game, and I will mentally in my head say, okay, then start with the letter A. I am aware. I am authentic. I am ambitious. I am accomplished. And I will go through the alphabet, and that will take me 20 minutes to do that. And you're repeating this stuff every single time you take that walk, and you really do start saying, hey, I could do this. I am that person. And you will see such a difference in your life by constantly reinforcing these positive qualities in who you are.
Oh, what a great, so it's like literally 20 minutes of walking on the beach, reinforcing what you just said, these positive qualities. Okay, I got a quick quiz for you. So you go through the alphabet. What's one for the letter X?
I am exceptional.
Oh, okay. I like that. There you go. Very good.
And for Z, I always say I am in a place of Zen.
Oh, meaning a place of like peace and harmony
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
tranquility. Very good, very good.
Mhm.
So how long have you been doing this, or how many years ago did you write the book, and how long have you been doing this, I guess?
Well, my family members all got sick. It was like 2014, 2015 when I retired from teaching. Um, so I was dealing with all of that at first. And at the same time, all my children had left home. So I was an early empty nester.
Okay.
Um, my husband had recently retired. So we were both new to this whole retirement thing. And as a teacher, my purpose every day was to wake up and see those kids. So without that, I really felt like I didn't have any purpose anymore. And I was so overwhelmed with everything going on in my life, which is when I slowly started the routine with the intention. And it took months to get the routine where I wanted it to be. And then I practiced it for a while. And don't forget, I was dealing with all the family medical issues alongside of all of that. But in 2021, I published the book. So it took
Okay.
some time from when I got the initial idea to when I put it into actual practice with the book being published. But so it's only been a year since it's been published. But I think my most honorable mention came from Jack Canfield for Chicken Soup of the Soul.
I saw that you reached out to him, and he actually. I've reached out to him so many times, and he's never responded. So congratulations, you got a
Yes,
response.
I am very proud of that.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned in the beginning of our session here that, change happens in life. How are you able, now that you have these techniques, these skills, that the I'm great acronym, how are you able to deal with change now, especially like big change, like, not like something, if you were to all of a sudden get some bad news or something like that, how are you able to deal with change now?
Well, you're still going to worry about big things like that when it affects your family, but I think I am now when things happen, I'm able to take that breath in between reacting and just that little pause and just kind of breathe in what's happening and think about, all right, I'm going to get through this and then figure out how I'm going to get through it.
Hmm.
I don't feel myself as getting or feeling as lost when I get into a situation like that. I just feel like, all right, I have to take a deep breath. And somehow, one way or another, I am going to get through this. And that's what I do. That's what I do.
So more optimistic, it sounds like.
Definitely more optimistic and less worrying. I just kind of I think I have a little bit more faith that things are going to work out, not necessarily the way that I want them to work out, but they're going to work out the best way that they should work out.
Okay.
And it's a lot of acceptance too. Acceptance for what you can't change, but you have to accept it.
That's a huge one. That could be part of the A too, not just affirmations, but acceptance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This I'm great philosophy, the intention, the meditation, the gratitude, the reading, the exercise, the affirmation, the time for yourself. I think I got it all.
You did. You did good.
And can anybody learn this? I mean, is this easy stuff to learn? You buy the book and start
Absolutely.
going through it, and can it really make a difference in someone's life?
Well, I actually believe it can. That's why I designed the book. So the first part of the book explains how to do it, why it's important to practice it, and I also give all the benefits to practicing. Why these rituals benefit you, your mind, body, and your soul, and then you actually do have the time to practice it. And at the end of the book, I mean, you could just continue practicing it. And once you learn that routine, you're never going to unlearn it. You just have to be disciplined enough to maintain that routine every day. And even on those busy days, if you don't do the whole routine, do what you can.
Yeah.
Just do what you can.
And even for those that are still working full time and busy, your routine can be, as quick as what, 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes or less, something like that. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes or an hour, whatever works for you in your time, right?
Right. And you always want to try to see if you can throw exercise in there too, because exercise is good for your body, but it doesn't have to be part of that initial intention meditation routine. Exercise when you can. If your schedule is easier for you to exercise at night or whatever, you do what works for you. And that's the whole thing, is finding the balance in your life. Because my balance is not going to be your balance.
Right.
So you have to find your own balance.
So I can get the book and I can go through the sequence. I'm great, and kind of start tweaking it and fine tuning it and adjusting it, so to speak, to make it work for me, and use whatever affirmations or readings or whatever that work for me. Yeah. Why, you mentioned in the first part of the book, you explained the why behind this. Why should someone do this?
Why wouldn't you want to make a better version of yourself? I mean, I just feel like that should be everybody's goal every day, to create the best version of yourself. Life is too short, you don't want to hold those grudges. You don't know if you're going to get the opportunity to do what you want to do tomorrow. So live for today. Live just for today and make the most of every day. And I think that has been the biggest change in my attitude, because although I was never a procrastinator, I really do appreciate the gifts that come my way now.
So how would you compare the Linda of today to the Linda of like 2012? Like night and day
Linda
different?
2012 was stressed because she was teaching reading, math, and language in 2 different grades, had 3 kids, 2 were still in college. Now this Linda is just definitely more relaxed, able to appreciate and realize that how hard I worked when my kids were little. I'm in a good place right now. And I think everybody work hard, get your mind in that right place, and everybody can feel, have that peace. It's all about finding the peace within and being happy that you're there.
If you knew then, back in 2010, 11, 12, what you know now, in terms of the gratitude, the peace, and everything, how would it have helped your life back in 2012?
Oh my gosh.
If you had these skills and techniques then that you have now?
It would have been life-changing. I feel like meditation is such a big part of it. They always say you should meditate for 20 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have time to meditate for 20 minutes a day, you should meditate for an hour a day, because you really need to find that peace. And it is a practice. I mean, there's some days where my own meditation, I might not feel like I got everything out of it. But then there are days that you're just going to feel like, wow, that's exactly what I needed today. And it's called a practice because it's something you're going to keep doing, and you're going to get better every time you do it. There's so many people that say, no, I don't have time to meditate. Right. I'm too busy. I can't fit that into my life. But studies have shown that if you take that time to meditate, you actually accomplish more at the end of your day, because you're more relaxed and you're more at peace, and you're able to give a better version of yourself to everybody else you're dealing with. So that meditation is a must. That's something you need to add into your day every day. And everything else will kind of like just fall into place, I think. Bringing that inner peace to yourself through the intention and the meditation and the gratitude and even the affirmations, you're gonna find that it's life-changing. It really is.
So the you of today, what would you tell the you of you in 2012, or somebody today who's where you were, 10, 12 years ago? What would be your overall take-home message to that person?
My overall message was, you got this. You can do this. You got this. Believe in yourself. You're going to get through this. It's going to work out. Just have a little faith.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
It's all about knowing that you really do have that strength. You might not think you have that strength, but that strength is in there. You just got to dig sometimes for it to find it, but it's there.
And you've literally written this all out in a step-by-step, easy to follow book called I'm Great. Linda, where can people find your book, or where can people find out more about you if they want to reach out to you? You have a Facebook group or something, you said?
I do have, actually, I have an author's page. So,
Okay.
Linda Callahan author page on Facebook. I also have an inspirational group called Your Inspiration Starts Here. That's a Facebook group page. I just post a lot of positive quotes every day. That's the first thing I do after my routine is I dive into that. And my book is available on Amazon. And let's see, I'm great every day at gmail.com is where you can write to me about that. And I think I answered all the questions, the book and the other web page.
You did great. And I'll make sure that there are links to your Facebook pages and that email you just mentioned. I'm Great Every Day. That'll all be posted in the show notes, so people can just go there and click on those. Linda, this has been absolutely wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to add that you haven't said already for the good of the order?
Well, let me first say thank you for this
Thank you.
opportunity.
No, I've learned
And
a ton.
yeah, life is short. Be happy, be grateful, and always eat the ice cream.
Yeah. 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 The whole ice cream part. I love how I never imagined when I did the title that people would get a kick out of that eat ice cream part. But that's what I learned about for me in my life was the balance. It's not always about, healthy eating or whatever, sometimes you gotta, let your hair, well, I don't have any hair, but if I did, let it down and, just let it blow in the wind sometimes. So, well, Linda, I sure appreciate you being here with me today. And again, if you're listening, I definitely appreciate you being here. I will put a link to her book in the show notes as well as to her Facebook pages. And I always like to request, if you are listening to this show, if you've gotten anything of value out of it, please share it, because we need to get this whole idea of being the best version of yourself and inner peace and gratitude and all this. Linda has got literally this, and the way my brain works, very analytical. I need a step-by-step way to do it. And Linda's book is exactly that. It's called I'm Great, and it can be found on Amazon. Linda is Linda Callahan. Thank you for being here again today. And this is Coach Brad. As I always like to say, until next time, be well, be safe, be happy, eat ice cream. Take care, everyone. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.